Hi everyone, I am Ovi and in this video I'll be talking about R&D projects. I will start by listing some ground rules which are enablers for the success of the project. I will then go through some common pitfalls and I will end with some hints on improving the quality. Let's have a quick look of what a project is, and I will do this with an engineering point of view. First, we have the business organization, which has a need. And this need gets refined into a goal, which is the expected outcome of the project output. Reaching this project output brings profit back into the business organization. In between the business organization and the project output, we have the project team and external stakeholders. Part of these external stakeholders is the business organization itself. They are external to the project team, but they have, or at least should have, means to monitor and control the project. There are as well other type of external stakeholders within the same business organization which do not control but exchange information with the project team. During the interactions between the project team and the external stakeholders, it may very well happen that the project team is losing focus on the project goal. This is one of the points where the project manager has to intervene. Going back to the ground rules, one may say that a project is successful when everybody is happy at the end of it. This is only possible if the project was to deliver a free ice cream to everybody and had unlimited budget, but then hey, such project will never come to an end anyway. For real projects, people may be happy just because it ended, but this is still not having anything to do with the success of the project, of course. An important aspect enabling the success of a project is having everyone knowing what the goal is. And that is from the beginning till the end, especially when the goal changes. And by everyone, I mean every individual, group or organization which may be affected by, or perceive itself as being affected by a decision, activity, or outcome of a project. This is the definition from PMI. And knowing implies having all the information at the right time, in the right format, and most important, understanding it as well. Another important aspect is to have a realistic goal, because unrealistic inserts can put even the realistic bits at risk. For example, a team can concentrate efforts on something which is more exciting for them to do, but in the overall picture is just a nice-to-have feature, nothing to do with the main functions of the systems they are working on. The next bit is related to communication. A part of knowing what the goal is and when it's changing, everybody should know as well where the project is going and what is its current status. The communication shall be fluid in both ways, both top-down and bottom-up. And the reason why all this communication mentioned before is important is the fact that this is how the project compensates for errors, which are deviation from project goal, but as well deviation from time and budget. And now, having in mind this list of what I think are some ground rules for a project, I will move forward describing some of the common pitfalls I observed during my experience accumulated as a project team member, project manager, or external stakeholder. The first one I would like to talk about in no particular order is the inappropriate assignment of people to roles. Potential causes for this one is not knowing what the role actually requires, or thinking like he will learn as it goes, or I'll get in trouble if I don't put a name in that box soon, and then forget about it once the box is filled. An example I have here is about a company which hired a software PM with previous experience in other industries to take over an automotive software project with no internal support given, like assigning a coach, mentor for integration during the ramp-up period. The outcome was he adapting the software development plan and the software configuration management plan in a way that made life very difficult for the customer, with longer reaction time, recurrent bugs on various platforms, and so on and so forth. This can happen for any role in any project. The higher the authority of the role, the higher the impact. The potential solution I see here is getting information from colleagues, process definition, or even the internet when hiring someone, or for the other potential cause is hire anyone but then coach them to excel. The second common pitfall I'd like to talk about is one which I've seen too many times, unfortunately, and is the inappropriate communication. The potential cause for this one is ineffective meetings with no clear purpose and outcome, and no project workshops other than kickoff and closure. The example I have here is a project where there were no core team meetings organized. The change control board were just picking items from the top of the pile and accept the one analyzed. And at sprint planning, the developers were free to pick whatever they wanted from the backlog as long as they picked enough to justify the upcoming period. The outcome was everybody, including the upper level management for a while, was thinking everything was going great. Nobody knew the number of the open issues was not decreasing and the ones implemented were having low impact for the overall stability and the functionality of the product. The solution here had multiple steps, like categorize issues based on business goals, analyze distribution trends and lifetime of issues, organize intermediate workshops to pass through backlog and sort issues by priority, ensure the important ones are analyzed first, and create a balance between important and urgent. And the third and the last one in this series is not having the end goal always as the highest priority. A potential cause of this is taking the upstream inputs without providing any feedback about the horizontal inputs and the risks implied. An example I have here is somebody who was ignoring requirements from other team on the basis that they came in the incorrect format or by the wrong channels or they came too late. The outcome was a crisis which was waiting around the corner, as at some point the requirements still had to be implemented in a shorter amount of time than initially available and of course under a lot more stress. The potential solutions here is to take time to understand the importance of the requirements and allocate resources to assess the impact, and then present the situation to the higher forum with a recommendation and a request for additional resources if is needed. This is what I wanted to say about some common pitfalls, and in the end of this video, as promised, I will give you some hints on how to improve quality in R&D projects. First one is related to stakeholder analysis and management. The project manager has to identify who's interested and why, and who can influence and how. Then has to keep everyone aligned with the correct level of information, and although it differs in depth and format, it shouldn't be any contradicting information between two stakeholders. The next item on this list is about right start for each phase. The project manager has to ensure that each task or phase is started only when sufficient information exists for its completion, and of course has to concentrate that this information is available according to the plan. If needed, he has to organize concept refinement workshops, especially for large features impacting multiple teams, and has to keep in mind that integration starts at requirements engineering, not after module testing. Has always to plan in advance, foresee dependencies, especially for tasks in the critical path. The third one on this list is related to risk mitigation and issue management. The project manager, together with the team, have to identify risks early using formalized checklists and then implement measures to reduce their probability or impact. Has to keep everyone focused on the important issues, the ones in line with the business goal priorities. And the last hint on this list is about lesson learned, management and distribution. The project manager has to organize periodic lesson learned workshops coupled to different phases of the project. Has to organize follow-ups to ensure all important issues have a solution identified with external support if unable internally. Then the project manager has to collate and distribute lesson learned amongst teams, and has to make sure that the environment is one where every small failure is seen as an opportunity to improve for everyone. With this, my video about R&D projects comes to an end. I hope you found it useful, and if you know anyone who may be interested, please use the share button. Thank you very much for watching.